Welcome back to the Real Estate Rat Pack Radio Show with Chris, Joe, and Rob. The crew is taking your calls, so dial in at 1-800-808-5548.
And welcome back to the Real Estate Rat Pack Show. You know, one of the things we always want to do, and sometimes we get so busy we forget, but, you know, part of this show is made possible by all of our great sponsors. Obviously, we've got all of our respective companies, Prudential, Improve My Credit USA, and Will Bend Mortgage. But we also have other sponsors out there that really make this just a phenomenal show. You know, from OneGuard, you know, home warranties, to Jason Jimenez Insurance, to Guillen Homes. You know, we have a
couple new sponsors.
Don't forget about Capital Title,
Capital
your sister
Title.
company.
That is correct. Capital Title of Texas for all
We
your
have a brand new
needs.
sponsor last week,
Yes.
AB Bowles Home Inspection.
AB Bowles Home Inspection. So, you know, we want to give a big shout out to them and let everybody know is go out and like us on Facebook or go look at our website. You can find all of our great sponsors, all of our guests that we have here today. You can listen to all of our old shows on YouTube and the links that we have out there. You know, one of the things we wanted to make sure that you know is that this is your show. This is an educational forum that we want to get out for you. We appreciate all of our sponsors. We appreciate all of our listeners, and we want to continue to grow the show. So also, if you have a specific subject you want to hear in the future, give us a shout-out, call us up, let us know, send us a Facebook request, and or send us an email. We want to hear from you. We love having new ideas.
Chris said, you know, they make part of the show possible, and we want to give them thanks. And it's the part that happens between 9 and 10.
Well, you know, you got to pay those big Rat Pack. You got to pay those big Rat Pack salaries. You know.
Yes, making the big bucks.
That is correct.
Well, I picked up the phone and just off the cuff, and I said, you know, Rae Lynn White, Coldwell Banker in the Heights. I said, I'm going to call her. You know what she said? Sure, I'll come on. And I was like, wow, usually I have to kind of talk a little while before I...
Yeah, she
Rae
used
Lynn,
to never return your call.
Power of the
power of the Rat Pack. Yeah, people have always worried, like, is he trying to recruit me? No. No. When it comes to show, because you do a lot of business, and welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show. You're now officially part of a contributor to the Real Estate Rat Pack Show.
And we term that as you've been Rat Packed.
That's good.
So anyway, tell me how long you've been working in the Heights.
I've been in real estate 12 years in the Heights.
Your entire career is in the Heights.
At Coldwell
so you've
Banker,
seen a
correct.
lot of changes over this.
Definitely.
What do you see the biggest changes? Right.
Well, I moved there 21 years ago because I loved old houses. And now people are coming because it's the hot place to be, not just because they love old
I
houses.
wish women felt that way about men.
The biggest changes are it's just really busy, lots of new construction, and we always had a lot of artists. We now have restaurants too, as Wayne said. And it's just a really fun place to be. The great thing is, though, it still has the charm of being the small town, which is what drew me to it.
Yeah,
you know, and you're mentioning some of the new construction going on, you know, and a lot of artists. Now, are you seeing, you know, I always like to ask this, you know, are you seeing more a predominant individual moving there saying, I want to have the older home, or is it truly the newer homes they're looking at right now, or is there truly a mix of half and half?
that was my question. Thank you for asking it for me.
I you know, great minds think alike.
Yes.
There's definitely a mix.
Or warped ones.
But what I've found is that people come thinking they want an old home, and then we go and look at old homes, and they see what they can get for their money. And you have to really love an old home to take care of it and have the constant maintenance. So many times they end up with a newer home.
Right. I can imagine. You know, but there also is, you know, I love architecture, right? And so I also like a lot of what the Heights represents in regards to some of the older homes that you can find out there. So, you know, some of that charm and some of the old way. I mean, I tell everybody is I look at some of the older homes in the Heights as sort of being like the old Chevrolets. You know, you could wreck them on the street and they just keep on going, right? Some of the older homes, their bones are really good. All you have to do is change out some of the inner workings, but the bones itself are some very good, solid foundations to continue. As Wayne was saying, one of the things he was talking about is to sort of reconstruct everything and create this openness that people want with the old world charm that still exists out there as far as look and feel.
That's right. It's being done, and it's a good balance. It's a delicate balance that people have to take to get that.
Yeah, I actually sold a gentleman's a PhD with BP Petroleum, and he said, you know what? This house has been here 90 years. I'm not so sure this new construction is going to be around 90 years from now. Of course, he's not going to be around, but that was his thinking. He said, like, these things really, it's like what Chris was saying, they've got great bones, and if you got great bones, you can work with it. So when they come in, and what do you think the mix is with your clientele? Is it 50-50?
Old versus new.
Old versus new?
I'd probably say it's more about 70-30. Old.
They want the old ones.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, that's harder to find. The newer is a little more accessible, right?
No, I mean 70% want the new ones.
Oh, they want the new
I
ones.
think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's just easier to live in, and great closets. The things that people love today.
I like to look at the old houses. I just don't want one.
That's often
Well,
the
you know,
case.
it's funny. We talk about this all the time, right? The new homes have all the amenities and all the modern features, et cetera. But let me tell you, I walked into a friend's house the other day, not in the Heights, but not that far away from it, over in the Meadow area, and they bought an old home, okay, that they had completely remodeled. And let me tell you, the old world charm that it had, and yet all the modern conveniences they put into it. And now don't get me wrong, they put quite a bit of money into it, but all the new amenities they had made it to almost be one of those perfect homes because it had everything. It had the maturity associated with it, had the look associated with it. On the inside, I mean, there wasn't anything you were missing, from the brand new kitchen and the stove and the water coming right over the stove to the outdoor fireplace and the outdoor kitchens. Absolutely gorgeous, and yet all set in an old world setting.
Yeah,
so it was really neat.
I know nothing about home remodeling at all. I'm crafty and all this sort of thing.
Yeah, that's what Kim said. Actually,
yes, I built a 3-tiered A-seed playhouse for the kids. So now my wife thinks I can build anything, and she's kind of got me trying to do projects inside the house, and I'm going, no, you really don't want me to do that. We're going to devalue the house. So in that setting, is when you're moving into an old house and you start doing remodeling stuff, do you still see that happen in the Heights? Is it a common thing?
Absolutely, and I've done it 3 times myself.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, you
So I
see
should
it
call
more.
you. That's what you're saying.
No,
Kim, I got a new.
She said she did it 3 times herself.
I make phone calls and write checks. I'm not doing anything myself.
I see a caller on the line right there,
That is correct. We actually have Shane Hawkins.
and that name sounds familiar. It sounds like somebody I know that does a remodeling business.
Oh, well,
Find
let's
out if that's the person.
let's find out.
Hawkins
Shane, how you
Home
doing?
Improvement.
Yeah, I have a question for you. You're talking about there's a mix of, 70 to 30, 70% wanting newer homes and 30 possibly looking at older homes. When they're looking at older homes, is there a lot of remodeling going on with those, or are people entering into maintenance contracts with home improvement companies such as myself who can actually go in and take care of the needs associated with older homes?
And that's actually without knowing he was on the line, but that's a perfect segue from the question I was asking. Are you still seeing the folks moving into the area and doing those kind of remodeling projects? Is that still common?
Absolutely, yeah, definitely, and it just takes a lot of chutzpah, sometimes a lot of money, some
and a
forethought.
good marriage. And you laugh, but I tell people who think they're going to take on a big project or build a new house, that's one of the first questions I will ask them. I said, how's your relationship? Because it will test it, will it not?
It will. It's probably better if you're single, actually.
Yes.
And Rae Lynn, let me ask
Works
you.
for me.
Let me ask you a question. Speaking of remodeling, one of the things I've always told everybody is before you go in and do a remodeling project, speak with a good realtor to know what's actually going to be the best items to add value to your property. What are you seeing are some of those best items that you can make upgrades on in the Heights right now?
Well, that's a great question. And also, you need to start with a house with a good bones, good floor plan, and a good look from the outside to begin with. You don't want to remodel something that's not ever going to look good. But always, your best money is put in the kitchen and bathrooms. It's no secret about that. And, everybody wants the standard granite countertops or marble countertops and stainless appliances.
Shane, are you still there?
Yes, I'm still
Okay.
there.
Do you do work in the Heights?
Yes, I've got a small job. I got to go and do this week.
Is he able to hear us?
It's a beautiful home. I was talking to the homeowner, and he just had his exterior redone where they actually pulled off all the old vinyl siding, and below that they had asbestos.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. A lot of times people will skip the whole abatement company to dispose of it properly and just bury it in the backyard and things of the nature. I've run into a lot
Oh, good night.
requests like that.
That's a Midnight Asbestos Removal Company?
Yeah, the Midnight Asbestos Removal Company. Yeah. Wow.
Right. And I was just curious, listening to you guys on the show about the Heights. It's a beautiful, beautiful community.
I think
It
people
sure could use
I think people that are buying there
course.
are looking for remodelers, for people that can help them. They don't know where to start. They might want to buy something, but they just need some help.
Well, that sounds like a future show we got coming.
Yeah, you want to give Shane a cheap plug here and let him get his phone number out?
Yeah. Shane's a good guy. I know Shane a longtime friend of mine, actually.
Shane, how can someone reach you?
We'll give you a shameless plug, Shane. It's a freebie.
I appreciate it. Well, my number is 832-881-3481. If you have any needs or any questions about a future purchase or anything of the nature, just give me a call.
We need to get Shane on the show to have a home improvement show.
Absolutely. And we appreciate your call, Shane.
Well, thank you guys.
Cool. Hey, we'll see. We got folks listening of all flavors to the show. Biggest real estate show in Houston.
So, again, you're talking about 70% of the. And what type of inventory is sitting right now for new home construction?
Well, it's still not very much. I was with some clients yesterday, and they don't want to wait 6 or 8 months for a home to be built. There's nothing available that's new home construction that's not under contract.
Well, and some of the numbers that Wayne was giving out a little while ago, I mean, if you look at just the last month of April, I think is what you said right there. I mean, you had 440 sales. You have 265 pending sales right now. You only have 206 active listings right now, give or take a couple. I mean, that's very low inventory. And if you look at what's happening in Houston right now, how many individuals we have, the average, we're bringing in over 200,000 people on a annual basis, and that's growing right now, okay? And you look at right now, I think via Danny Frank said the other day, I think HAR has less than one of the lowest, inventories ever they've had out there. It's just making for that storm of you have to, number one, Rob says all the time, if you're thinking about listing your home, list it now.
It's the perfect storm in real estate right now, especially in our area.
I've said it, it's the perfect storm. And, believe it or not, while rates are moving up, they're still extremely aggressive. Don't let rates be a factor to disenchantise you or to keep you off the market. They're still very aggressive. Rates in the floor are still very good.
When we come back, I wanted to touch on the education thing. We had off breaks asked about that, and I wanted to see. I knew that was an issue in the past, and get y'all's thoughts on that when we come back from the break.
Yes, so stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Like the fella once said, ain't that a kick in the head? The room was completely black. I hugged her and she hugged back.